everyone, we're at the Arias Hotel in Fountain Valley, California, and we're so excited to talk to a professional about hotel accommodations.
So jump on board and let's roll in!
Choo-choo! Thank you, Michelle, so much for meeting with us today. We're excited to hear from you. Our first question is, how soon do you think a bride and groom should start calling and inquiring about their hotel accommodations?
Great. Well, really, there's no right or wrong answer as early as a year, just because the sooner, the better it is. The hotel will have full availability, and best of all, they're going to give you the best rates possible.
We always like to save some money, so.
Jerry, you better yell! Show me the money!
So our next question, Michelle, is what are some of the questions you would recommend a bride and a groom calling in for accommodations?
One of the things that I always suggest is make sure that you know your amenities. What is included in the rate? What are the things that you want your guests to know, such as complimentary breakfast, Wi-Fi parking, perhaps shuttle service even to the venue? Those are one of the perks that you want to make sure that your guests are fully aware of.
That's good to know.
That's good.
That's perfect.
Now, is there room for negotiation? We all like to save some money, so
$50 million? What do you think you got, Kelsey? What's the line?
is that a possibility?
There always is. And one of the things that you should always know is perhaps if the hotel doesn't give you the breakfast, if you reach a certain amount of rooms, perhaps they might be able to throw that in there. Or if they've got transportation, well, maybe they might be able to have room for them to be able to take you to their venue, depending on how many rooms you pick up. So there's always that. And if your dates are not set yet, always call them ahead of time to make sure that what are their slow periods. And if they've got rooms available for certain days that you're considering, they might be able to give you the best available rate throughout their entire season.
You heard it. Fill those rooms up and get some deals. All right, Michelle, can you tell us a little bit about room blocks and cutoff dates?
Yes, definitely. So one of the things that you always want to make sure is that you're fully aware and let your guests know is the cutoff date, which is also known as the last day for you guys to call in and book reservations by. So one of the things that you want to do is set these rooms aside for your guests. They might be able to be personalized to your name with your specific dates depending on how large your block is. The other perk about it is that they might be able to do it as a courtesy block. Some hotels, it's really up to the hotel, might be able to do it as a courtesy block. Therefore, they're going to block off rooms under your group's name for a certain amount of time, call in and book by, and get that special rate. Or there's some hotels that might tell you, hey, I'll block off XYZ amount of rooms. However, you will need to guarantee a certain amount, such as 80%, 50%, really depends on to the hotel. So one of the things that you want to make sure is that you know how many rooms your guests might pick up.
Wow, that is very helpful information.
And now, should the bride and groom be calling in, making sure that the rooms are blocked? How does the communication work?
Well, the bride and groom is stressed as is. They've got so much planning going on. So what I personally recommend is call once a month if you want to, but realistically, your guests are not going to start booking until probably the last month. And that's one of the things that we really leave it. We're procrastinators. We leave it till the last minute. So I would say check it every so often and make sure that a week before your cutoff date, run a rooming list and see who's booked and perhaps who hasn't, and just reach out to them and send them a friendly reminder, and pretty much it. Other than that, don't stress on it. Your guests are gonna get on it.
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm so much more relaxed. Thank you, Helen.
Michelle, can you tell us a little bit about room arrangements and how the bride and the groom might be on a different floor as opposed to the wedding guests and bridal party?
Yeah, definitely. One of the things that I always say is don't be afraid to ask questions.
What's the name of the fish?
Gefilte fish.
Gefilte fish.
Let them know what you want. Let them know what you need, because ultimately that's what the hotel is here for. We want to make sure that we take care of this stressful event. The rooming arrangement is probably the most touchy subject there is. Why? Because might be Aunt Sally might not get along with Uncle Tom. So one of the things is that we do not want them to hit each other on the same floor. This is possible, and these are requests that are very understandable to hotels. Let them know ahead of time, and we'll make it happen. We're more than happy to accommodate these things. Why? Because we want to make sure that this day is very special to you guys.
Yeah, no drama, please.
No drama.
We're a whole wedding party. I'm the bride. I'm getting married. The seat's empty. She's obviously nervous. We'll calm her down.
You know what? I understand.
Now, do you have any final tips for us?
One of the final things that I'd recommend is don't be stressed out on the day of. And one of the things that you can prevent it by doing so is checking in a night before. It might cost you a little more, just one room night the night before for the bride or the groom too, is why. Many times we have guests that'll check, brides and grooms checking in on the day of. You're running behind schedule, you're stressed out, you're already trying to beat the clock and be there on time, and the hotel tells you, no, I'm sorry, your hotel room is not ready yet. Guess what that's gonna cost? And reality is you can prevent that just by checking in a night before.
Definitely. And the day of the wedding is your day, so you've been working so hard, invest a little bit of money, and it'll be completely worth it. Thank you so much, Michelle, for joining
My
us.
pleasure. Thank you
Michelle,
for having me.
It was a pleasure. Thank you so much for all your information. And that's all we have for you today on
The Wedding Voice.